Hello and welcome to the real Sveshnikov. This is a preview in the main line, main positional line, which is dedicated to the move, ninth white move, knight to d5. Now let's go from the beginning and start to think about the real Sveshnikov. So after the move e4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, c takes on d4, knight d4, knight f6, knight c3 and e5. Of course the main move and the only move, as I mentioned in a few previews before, is knight d to b5, where white just wants to control the square on d6 and put as much pressure as he will be able on the square d5. Now, after the d6, bishop g5 is absolute must played move here, because this is the only way how white can fight for the initiative. Now, here in the Sveshnikov is a very strong move bishop g5, because this bishop wants to take the knight on f6 in order to put the knight on d5, which will be incredible piece. Now, white idea here also can be met by very strong plan, by playing a6 and after knight a3 to play b5. And now you can see why I like Sveshnikov, why I played and why I have the success with it. So first of all, I think that this is a great offensive opening, because with this kind of structure you can always start to fight for more than the equality. Okay, you have to be also very precise, because one wrong move can leave you with broken position. Basically, because if you lose at some point some kind of the initiative, or maybe if white manage to not allow you to play very actively, then in the passive position with a lot of the weaknesses as potentially here black can get, white can establish very strong position. But this is also just in the theory. In the practice, it's something very opposite to that. So basically we gives white with black d5 square and potentially weak pawns on the queen side for incredible attacking position or incredible initiative, because the pawn is on e5, the pawn is on b5. So you see that black go further, go very deep, and this pawn can also be on b4 in one move. The knight can jump maybe on d4. Okay, this knight will be taken, but after the white takes a knight on f6, then basically black will stay with this very open structure with the two bishops. So here you always have the players who can decide, and in almost any position you can play positionally or very aggressively. The first thing that white can do here is play the positional battle, and after the move d5, knight to d5, I name this chapter positional approach or positional white idea to somehow try to neutralize black offensive play. Now, why knight d5? Of course, after the knight d5, white managed to get a lot of the pressure on the knight on f6, and basically black needs to play bishop to e7. Now in the video, first of all, I always try to show why something is wrong, and because of that I show why the knight e7 is wrong. Basically because after knight e7, bishop f6 and g takes on f6, you can see that black gives the dark square bishop, white gives the dark square bishop, and stay with the light square bishop with all of the pawns on the light squares. And if you see here and look at here, you can see that all of the black pawns are on the dark squares, and basically they very nicely play without the dark square bishop, of course. And now, for instance, after the moves like queen to d2, I also show you here how to play against queen f3, of course, f5, or even I can show you very exactly how to play after the moves like here, and here, knight takes, bishop takes, and then after the move like c4, because I think that this is also slightly overplay from white, and then after the bishop b7, black gets incredible tempo, when after, for instance, bishop to d3, he can just play even f5. And now you can see the nice picture. So white just move the pieces on some squares, but they will be on completely wrong squares, when the black pieces are incredibly placed, and I think that those pawn structure will be always in black's favor. So not to mention that maybe black is better, I think that black managed to get very strong initiative, and white is the side who needs to decide how to defend the pawn on e4, how to play against this light diagonal from b7 to from a8 to h1, and so on and so on. So you can see that this is completely bad approach. Of course, here, as I mentioned, white can just try to play queen to d2, but then also after the bishop e7, f3, d5, eventually black managed to break in the center, and after e d5, queen d5, I think that get incredible position. So it's not a position where I think black will get very big advantage, but it is the position where I think that black is slightly better, because the pawn structure is here in black's favor for sure, because the pawn is on e5. Obviously this g2 pawn will be weak because of the rook g8. Knight can jump on the f4 square, an incredible light square bishop on the best diagonal is clearly the superior piece to very, very passive white light square bishop on f1. So you can see that white cannot be better here. Now we can go back, and of course here in the book and the video as well, I show you how to fight the move bishop f6, which is the main line in the theory, and which is, I think, the best one here for sure. So there is no real alternative to the move bishop f6, because white needs to get and play to his own plan. Now, of course, after the bishop f6, black will take on f6, and now, as in many lines, I always show you basically everything, and I try to cover every single line, because I think that all of those lines has his own advantages and disadvantages. Mainly this is only based on the fact that white is white and he can try to dictate the tempo, but black can also play a very important role in those positions. And then I think that here, if you look at the position, and I think very nicely try to explain where is the difference between c3 and c4 move, which is in my view not enough here to get any kind of the advantage for white. Now, why I think that this is the case here. First of all, if white play positional battle, like here knight d5, then I think that white is somehow obligated to place here very slow move c3 in order to reroute the knight from a3 to e3, and then to try to play with a4 later on and try to expose those weaknesses on the queen side. I will show you, and I will try to explain you why basically c4 is the move that white should play in the main attacking line with ninth move bishop f6, because here I think this is the wrong idea. It's not the wrong move, but it's of course the wrong idea, because now at some point after you play very positionally with knight d5, exchange on f6, then now you try to get very attacking position and open the game in the center, and of course on the queen side, when I think black with the bishop pair can make very strong impact. And after the moves like b4, knight c2 and castle, of course, because this pawn on b4 can never be taken because of the queen b6, and then queen just take on b2, for instance, or some other lines that I clearly try to explain in the teeny details. I think that you can see black cannot be worse here. And something that will go on and on will be the fact that maybe at some point white will have a problems here with the light square bishop or with the pawn structure. So basically black can play here for a long time in the position where he is of course not worse. Now because of that, and because the fact or the white plan when he decided to play positionally, then I think that c3 move is a key move here, the key idea, and I think that this is the way how white should play if he tried to play ninth move knight d5. Of course, now after the bishop g5, which is I think here, in my view, the best move, I should mention that here all kind of the moves black try. I use this move with a combination to the next move that I will show you now, because I think that this is incredibly easy idea and incredibly nice idea where I don't think that white will get any kind of the advantage, and I show direct lines until maybe even 30 move where I clearly show how black can easily maintain the balance. The idea of black is very simple. After the bishop g5, white can try to play many moves. For instance, I show you what to do after g3. I also show you why bishop e2 is not the main move. And then I show you how to play after the move knight c2, which is, I think, the superior move, because this is the this is something that is related with white plan, and this is his idea in order to improve the position of the pieces. Now, after the move knight c2, also something that black could play here is, of course, the castle on the king side, but I analyzed this position for quite a while, and I think that I found a way how black can play incredibly easy and incredibly nice idea, which is, I think, enough to get full equality in couple of moves. The move which I like is the move rook to b8. Now, why rook b8? First of all, you should know that here main white plan is to put the pawn on a4 and try to break through on the black queen side. Now, after the move rook b8, not only that this rook support the pawn on b5, but also potentially after a4 he will be on great position because the pawn on b2 will hang. And now something that I really like is that white has, in my view, only one move. I show you why, of course, g3 is not good because of the castle, bishop g2 and a5. I also show you why I think that here bishop d3 is not good, because once again after bishop d7, knight e3, knight e7, and after exchange on d5, castle and a5, once again black will manage not only to secure the queen side but prepare those pawns for advancing there, when white really doesn't do much, because the bishop on d3 is wrong piece, queen on e2 makes some kind of the pressure, but those pieces will never get a pawn from b5, and then at some point if black managed to break through on the queen side, then the bishop pair in the open position can be incredible position for black. Of course, I also show you why I think that here the move bishop e3, bishop e2 is not good. Once again because of the move a5, and now black is first on the queen side and white cannot do much. And then of course I think that a3 is clearly lose of time, because once again a5, and now white cannot play with only those pawns on the queen side, because on the queen side is the only, or the queen side is the only place where white can play for something more. Of course, we can easily go to the position and the line, which I think is the main line, a4, because white really needs to go very fast and very direct onto black queen side structure. Now, after the ba4, knight c to b4 and bishop d7, we came to the main lines where I think that I clearly showed that black has enough play for this broken structure on the queen side. For instance, bishop a6 is the main move, when after knight b4, and queen a5, we have a lot of possibilities there for white, but I really try, and I think that I success into very deep details show you how to play here with black, and why I think that black has complete control over the situation. Here white has 5 moves, and I really show that in all 5 lines black can get very easy and equal play. For instance, the best move is queen d6, and then after rook b6 and for instance queen d3 we can just play bishop e7, when knight d5, rook b2 will very easily organize the black position, and after a few moves it will be very equal position. So this is, I think, the end of the line with knight to d5, where I don't think that white can get strong initiative. Only thing that white can get is this strong knight on d5, but basically if you look at carefully, and you will see in all of the lines in the video, I hope, you will see that black very easily can play all around this knight. So this knight looks like very strong piece, but in fact black can organize his play all around the knight and basically have the bishop pair, which is, I think, more than enough in this very open position, and with the support for this advanced pawn on a4, black has incredible compensation. So I think that here in the knight d5 line there is no need to be afraid playing with black, and I think that you will have a lot of fun playing on the way that I show you in the book and of course in the video.